Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Vivian, and this one's on digestive health. I hopefully you've seen the one on bowel movement. Of course, eliminating what goes in is very, very important. So definitely make sure that you're having proper bowel movements, comfortable bowel movements, once or twice a day. Twice a day is more the target you want to go for, and it should not be loose. It should be comfortable. But I want to share, sadly, the website I used to send people to has become very commercialized. They were always selling product, which is good. I'm all for people making money and living well. But now it's the information that they had isn't just available like it used to be, along with then, buy these products to help you. I can't send you there, but and I found this person on PBS. She was very insightful, and it was really nice. I'm not sure what kind of profession. I don't think she was an MD, but she talked about how clients would come to her with various ailments, and she didn't address them. She didn't address those ailments. Instead, she got their gut healthy, and their ailments disappeared when their gut functioned properly. And she used this thing called HOPE, HOPE, and it stands for high fiber, omega-3, probiotics, and enzymes, digestive enzymes. So I could find most of that stuff, except for the enzymes was a little harder. I think I had to go to a vitamin shop for that. And now I can order it from Amazon, because it's just, that store is just not in my normal shopping. I have to make a special trip for just that item. Excuse me. So the HOPE regimen, you do it only for 2 weeks, and the way I remember it and the way I do it is I double the dosage, whatever the fiber thing. Like my fiber thing that I like to do is a psyllium husk capsules, and it's supposed to be 5 capsules for the dose. So I would do 10. I would double the dose. I would do 10, and I would do it twice a day. So morning and evening, every 12. I try to do 12-hour thing. So omega-3, whatever it tells you the dosage is, double it. The probiotic, double it. And the enzymes, double it. Twice a day for 2 weeks, 14 days. The probiotics I used to recommend, and I still do, I still think this is true, that if you go to a health food store and they've got probiotics that's refrigerated with a short lifespan, it's not going to sit out there for months and months and months. Those are more active. They're definitely live cultures. It's better for you. I am currently doing Costco's probiotic thing, and it's sitting out on a shelf at room temperature. It's a lot. I'm not really sure. I mean, it's just more available. It's what I'm doing. But I definitely recommend, if you can't find or get to a place that's got it refrigerated, it is more expensive, and it is something that you need to use up. And you need to keep it in the refrigerator. You don't put it out on the shelf, and you can't just fill up your week's caps, Monday through the whole week's caps 7-day thing, and treat it that way. It has to be refrigerated, so you can't, that whole thing has to go in the refrigerator, or you just leave that one in there and take it out for that dose. And it was recommended, and what I do it after having to do antibiotics, because it definitely messes up your whole gut health. Whatever was there is gone. Good, bad, ugly, it's gone. And the yeast is going to take over. Unless you replace, you give something to hold back the yeast. Now, every woman knows that when you're on antibiotics, you could get a yeast infection, and we should eat yogurt. Yogurt only has one good bacteria. There's at least 8 that I know of. The one I used to buy that was refrigerated was, I think it's a Pro 8 was the name. I hadn't used it in a while. But that is important to do to get your gut lined up, and it does make a difference, because I can tell when I start craving a lot of sugar. I used to have a bad yeast condition. I didn't realize it at the time. It's something I've learned. There's a good book called The Fungus Link. I read that. That really helped a lot too. And what happened, the really big symptom besides wanting sugar, wanting to eat sweets a lot, was that anytime I smelled bleach, just trying to do laundry, going near a chlorinated pool, that I would get sick. I would just get just very nauseous. I had to get away from it. It was difficult to breathe. What was happening at that time, and I've heard people say there's no way that doesn't happen. No one's going to have a yeast condition like that unless they're dead. But I've talked to other people. They've experienced that. And you may have problems. If you can't open a bleach bottle and sniff it without getting really ill, you may have this condition too. I would almost bet money on that. But I was actually producing ammonia in my breath, and the chlorine from the bleach, when I would smell it, they combined, and that's a toxic fume. It makes this is why you can't combine ammonia and bleach and get the benefits of both while you're cleaning, because you'll kill yourself, or make yourself very sick. So I had that going on. I had when we moved in 1999 to our former home that we just moved from. We lived there for 16 years, but when we first moved in there, I did not know that there was a leak in our bathroom. Our master bathroom the shower had a small leak, and it was carpeted. That bathroom was carpeted. That's the dumbest thing ever, to have a carpeted bathroom. Wall-to-wall carpet. It was a big bathroom. It was a big room. It was lovely otherwise, but there was black mold growing in there. And I got sick. I got very sick. Went to the doctors. Got on antibiotics. A couple of weeks later, I was sick again. I was put on different antibiotics. A couple of weeks later, again, repeat. Didn't know why, and then the leak got big. The hole got bigger, and then there was like, oh, why is this carpet wet? It wasn't wet before. It was wet. It's like, oh, so I had to pull it apart and fix it. And it's like all this mold, and it's like start tearing up the carpet, taking it out. It was all underneath the carpet. But by that time, my system was really, really messed up. I didn't know. I knew I was sick. I was trying to I'm just recovering from three times of taking 3 different antibiotics. We had moved. I'd been in a car accident. I was injured. We started homeschooling. Stress was like, we had just moved. We were trying to sell our old house. My house that I had bought before we married had been rented, but now wasn't rented. So we had 2 houses we were paying mortgage on, and 2 loans on our home that we just moved into. I got into a car accident. I'm trying to homeschool for the first time 2 kids, 2nd and 10th grades. It was so many things. I thought, okay, I'm just under so much stress that this is why I'm sick. No, that was part of it, yes, but what was going on was this yeast condition was getting really, really out of control. I didn't know. I don't think I even did yogurt. I didn't get the yeast infection. But we ate yogurt periodically anyway. We were trying to do things. I was trying to get help. It was bad. And then when I saw this, I was like, okay. So I did the Hope, that whole regimen. It really helped. There was also, that's when I was doing the Fungus Link and learning a lot, and had what he called a phase 1 diet. And it basically had nothing that your body can even convert to sugar. It was like, only fruits allowed were berries, green apples, grapefruits, lemons, and limes. That was it. So that helped a lot. And at that time also, my husband, he had the ugliest toenails. Oh my God, they were bad. It was toenail fungus. Now, we women know when we do antibiotics, we get a yeast infection, to eat yogurt. Men don't do that because they don't get a yeast infection. But what's happening to them? Just because they don't get a female's, yeast infection, obviously, what happens? I also think a lot of that, a lot of men with prostate problems, I would almost bet most of those men, their wives have a yeast infection problem too. There's a lot of things with yeast that is very scary, and cancer and yeast act very similarly. They both feed off of sugars. They both they spread the same way. So you have to stop and think about that when you have these various ailments. And it goes back to digestive health. Now, everything, we're finding out that 80-90% of our immune system is in our gut. And if your gut is messed up, if you have leaky gut, I talked about in my other videos, it's all connected. You can't have one without, it's almost like, if you have leaky gut, that's not your only problem. You have other issues. You could have hypothyroidism. You could have liver problems, autoimmune system problems, so many other things. And brain function. I keep going back. I'm going to do things on just brain functions. But we're not at our best mentally to deal with these when we have them. When we have these things, you need to be aware that you're not thinking optimally. And decision making, it's very, very, it's so easy to go to the doctors and say, okay, I have these symptoms, what do I take? And you don't want to realize that what you're taking is setting you up for something else and maybe not actually fixing what you're taking it for. So you have to start thinking, and you have to be very conscious of that, of what you're thinking. So I do that regimen of high fiber, omega-3, probiotic enzymes anytime I do antibiotics. As soon as I try to take a little bit of probiotics in between, like if I had to take antibiotic pills every 12 hours or every 8 hours or whatever, in between those times I sneak in a probiotic pill, and I keep up. I take my regular doses of fiber and my omega-3s that I do, but then as soon as my course of antibiotics over, I do the massive doses of those four for 2 weeks, 14 days, and I'm good. I also do that also when I have I can tell when my yeast condition's taking over, because I start craving sweets. So that's also an indication of having a yeast condition. Also be aware, if you treat the yeast condition and you're eating a diet low in sugar, low in carbs, because your body turns carbs to sugar, the yeast will start dying off and you will feel sick. You will feel like you're getting the flu. It's called Herxheimer's. It's a yeast die-off. And when the yeast are dying, they release toxins, more toxins. But you can't. You got to feel worse before you feel better. Sorry, that's what happens when you have that condition. I also know that taking high dosage of garlic, putting a lot in your diet, taking garlic supplements, make sure that's okay. Especially if you're on other medications, that's not going to interfere with that. Of those, because garlic can sometimes do that, or it can make things. Anyway, you know what you're taking. I know what I'm taking and not taking. I'm not on any prescription drugs. Period. As of tonight, I'm not going to be on the antihistamines, and so there won't be any over-the-counter medications, just supplements. Okay, and be aware that not all supplements are safe and not safe for everybody. You need to be aware You know, like not everyone can take D3, even though it's almost a miracle pill. Some people can't process D3, so you can't. You know, you have to get blood work done to know that. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not. I just know certain things, and you got to be aware of the dangers as well as the benefits of anything, including prescription, especially prescription drugs. So, taking high doses of garlic. So no vampire is going to get near me right now. I'm taking a lot of garlic, trying to boost my immune system over this allergy thing I've got going on. But anytime I take antibiotics, steroids. If I have to take a steroid for an injury or inflammation, I had to take, last time I took a steroid was a prednisone. I was crazy. And I won't do it again, but after I took it, I did the HOPE regimen again. So look into that. Definitely, you know, a lot of issues, like I said, a lot of your issues may disappear. I talk about that in with the book Diet Cure. When we women especially do all these wacky, crazy diets, hoping to lose weight and look good, and we end up with a messed up gut that sets us up for failure. So as soon as you stop doing that diet, that fad thing you were doing, you put that weight, because you want to live your life normally. Well, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to change your lifestyle. That's all there is to it. There's better options out there that you can live with and be healthy and get down to a good weight. That's where I'm at. I'm not playing with this anymore. I am making myself accountable in this, and I hope that in 2 months you'll see a difference, a positive difference in all my symptoms. And digestive health is really key. And watch the bowel movement thing, because that's important. If you're not having comfortable bowel movements once or twice a day, that's going to set you up for a lot of other problems too. So steroids, antibiotics, and I never did hormone therapy, not for very long. Every time I took birth control pills. That's probably another video. So anyway, hormone therapies. You need to take this regimen. And some people handle those things better, other people don't. Different ages, you handle it differently. So you may have done well before, and now things are causing, you know, things that worked aren't working. This may be why, because your gut is so messed up and it needs to be healed. And fasting is very important for that too. Your gut needs a break. And I talked about in another video, your body needs 10 hours minimum of no calories before it switches into healing mode. And that is very important. For health, you've got to be healing. We're constantly damaging ourselves. And sadly, the foods that we eat are not always good for us. So this has got to be healed for everything else to work right. So let me know what you think. Definitely want to know what's working for you. If you've got more information about healing your gut, I definitely want to know if it wasn't covered here. So thanks for watching.